So, hey, good morning. We are so excited that you have joined us here this morning for just this time of yoga practice. An opportunity this morning to be able to center ourselves and just kind of take a break from all that's taken place this week. Amen. Listen, we are glad that you've joined us this morning, and so we would love to hear who you are and where you're from. If this is your first time joining us here this morning, and maybe you're not quite sure what this is all about, we would love to be able to connect with you and just kind of explain more and explore this practice with you. So if you would put in the chat who you are, where you're from, and any questions you may have this morning, or maybe even any joys or concerns, how we can come alongside you and pray for you. Or just sharing those joys this morning, we would love to do that. So we are joined this morning by the beautiful, wonderful Karen Hughes, our practice instructor this morning. And I am Pastor Jill Beck from St. Mark's United Methodist Church in Ocala and Wildwood United Methodist Church in Wildwood, Florida. And so Karen is from Lake Deaton. And so we are from a multitude of places. So it doesn't matter where you've come from this morning. We are all family and friends, and we are so glad you're here. I get an awesome opportunity to be with you this morning to deliver the devotion. Reverend Dr. Michael Beck is traveling this weekend, so please lift him up in prayer as my holy mischief partner goes and spreads the mischief all around. Well, listen, I'm in my living room this morning, and as you can see, there's a few paintings all around me. I have been exploring a passion that I have since I was a very young child, a forgotten passion. A passion that honestly, if you look at these pictures I've joked around this week, they look like kindergarten finger paintings. But they're my passion. They're what takes me away from the rest of the world. And I was reminded this morning in my time of scripture of exactly what drives that. Colossians 3:23, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Not for human masters. I had to sit with that for a minute, and I had to contemplate how I've said several times this week that these paintings look like kindergarten finger paintings. But truly, when I sit down with a canvas and a paintbrush, I don't sit down knowing or thinking that somebody else is going to see this or going to look at it or analyze it. I sit down with a paintbrush in my hand and a blank canvas before me, exploring the inner depths of myself, getting in touch with who I am, exploring that spiritual space within me that my Creator dwells. You know, I want to encourage you this morning. If you like to dance, dance as if nobody's watching. Dance from a place in your heart that just needs to get in touch with who you are and with who created you. If you like to write, don't write because you're aspiring someday to be some great author. Write because you have words that are flowing from your heart, from your spirit, that just need to get down on paper. If you like to draw or paint like I do, don't remind yourself on a daily basis that those are finger paintings, but look at them as a creation of who you are. Identify with them. You know, the point is, whatever brings you excitement and joy and passion, God is going to honor. But we have to find that space, don't we? We have to make room for that. We have to let go of all of our inhibitions and really hone in and tune in to who we are. And that takes a practice. And so I found these three things that I hope that you'll explore with me this week as I explore these. It comes from the Book of Awakening. Somebody gave me this book recently. It's by Mark Nepo. Let me see if I can get that up on the screen. by Mark Nepo. And he says this: sit quietly, and as you breathe, feel the vibrant glow at the core of who you are. Breathe steadily and let this passion rise in you with no aim or intent. Breathe slowly. And as you begin to feel its heat, look at the simple things around you. And that's really what this time here this morning is all about. This practice of yoga. We don't practice yoga necessarily for our physical well-being, although we all know that it does enhance our physical well-being. But yoga is about an overall wholeness of the body. It's connecting our mind, body, and spirit, the creation of God, together in one. And I'm telling you, I have found for myself, and I'm just sharing this little gem this morning, that when I find that time that I can just sit and be quiet, the possibilities are endless of what that canvas will look like as I explore my passion. I invite you this week to sit quietly, ask God to help you explore your passions. Join me for a moment of silence and then of prayer. Oh, Creator, our God, we lift up to you this morning all of the many things that cloud our thoughts, that cloud our hearts, that block our spirits from being in tune to you. We ask you this morning to allow us to set everything aside this next hour, and we ask you to pour into us and open up the channels for us of clarity. We ask you to pour into us your spirit of peace. Let us become one with you and one with our bodies and less of the world. Let us meditate on your love and your beauty so that we may explore the passions of our hearts, the creativity that you have given each and every one of us. Be with us during this time. Help us to explore like we never have before. And it's in your precious name. Amen. Amen. I'm going to turn it over to Karen.
Well, welcome. Thank you, Jill. That was wonderful. And I do believe that yoga can help us to be free, to open up and just be who we are. So let us take this opportunity to just search in our hearts and to find what canvas, what joy we can think about today. As we go through our practice, a lot of times I encourage you to come up with an intention, but maybe just search through your mind, body, and spirit and let go so that you can be free, as Jill said, to be who you are. And you are beautiful, whoever you are. So let us start with the heart of yoga. Close your eyes and just breathe. And be aware of your breath as you breathe. Inhaling deep in through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Long, deep breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling and just clearing your mind of all the clutter or anything that clouds your thoughts or your hearts, as Pastor Jill has spoken of. Let's just open up that space so that we can renew our mind, our body, and our spirit. And let us go into a breath pattern, inhaling deep in through the nose and then exhaling through the mouth. A long inhale followed by an even longer exhale. One more purifying breath in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. And returning to our normal breath in through the nose and out through the nose as we open our eyes. Sit nice and tall. Take your arms out long with your palms up. Inhale to float the hands up and exhale, hands over, heart center, and namaste. Inhale to float the hands out, reach out long, big stretch, and exhale. Remember to be aware of your breath through your practice today, and let your breath guide your movement. And remember that this is your practice, and that if anything doesn't feel right, or if you feel any pain or awkwardness in any part of your body, it's okay to just stop and to modify, maybe move differently, maybe just take a breath, maybe just take a rest, and whatever pose feels good for your body. One more big stretch. Inhale. Exhale, hands over heart center. Inhale, reach up high. And exhale, float your hands out as long as your arms can reach, floating your fingertips down to your mat. Let's go into some side stretches, flipping that left palm up for strength and over for flexibility, alternating side to side. Inhale, and on the exhale, just rest your hands by your side as we sit as tall as you can with your knees bent, either folded legs, or maybe that's not comfortable for you. You can take your feet out and just bend your knees a little. We're bending our knees to just protect our spine. As we go into some shoulder shrugs, inhale, bringing the shoulders up, and exhale, push the shoulders down away from your ears. Inhale up, and exhale down. Inhale up and go into a big shoulder roll to the back. Inhaling and exhaling with the big shoulder roll. The bigger and slower you roll your shoulders to the back, the more tension you'll release from your upper back and neck. Inhale and exhale. Keep your chin and your heart lifted as you roll the shoulder rolls, nice and big. Inhale and exhale, and one more big shoulder roll. Inhale, shoulder roll up, around, and down. Sit as tall as you can, growing through the crown of your head as we drop our left earlobe towards our left shoulder with a heavy head. Inhale. And on the exhale, come back to the center, only to look over your right shoulder with breath. Inhale to look over the shoulder. And exhale to come back to the center. Sit taller. Once again, letting the right earlobe fall towards your right shoulder with a heavy head. Inhale. And on the exhale, bring your head back to neutral and look over your left shoulder with breath. Inhale and exhale. Let's go into a seated cat and cow to warm up the lower spine. We'll go into the seated cat first, holding onto your knees. Nod your chin and round your back, pulling your belly into your spine, rolling back like a Halloween cat. And then seated cow, we simply use our hands to come forward, hinge forward. Lift your heart, lift your gaze, and fill your lungs up with air with an inhale. Exhale into seated cat pose. Inhale into seated cow. And one more set. Exhale. And inhale. And let's just end up in our seated cat pose. From here, let your head be heavy. Relax your shoulders, your elbows, and your wrist. Pull your belly into your spine. Let your rib cage cave in. And then slowly roll your chin up towards your left shoulder. And when you get there, sit as tall as you can for some half neck circles in slow motion. Inhale to drop the chin to the chest, rounding the spine, letting it go. Exhale, come up to the right shoulder and sit nice and tall. Inhale, dropping the chin to the chest, rounding the spine. Exhale, coming up to the left shoulder and growing tall. And one more, inhale. And exhale, and bring your gaze back to the center as we start with some small upper body circles. Lifting the heart as you come forward, and then rounding the back as you go back. Gradually making your upper body circles a little larger, listening to your body, warming up that spine. Inhale and exhale. Remember through your practice that the slower that you move when we're doing any movement, the more tension you will release from the joint that is moving. So if you feel any tension in your lower back, or maybe even your hip flexors, maybe just slow down your movement. Alrighty, let us switch to the other direction of our upper body circles, starting small and gradually increasing the movement, range of motion of our upper body circle, working with your body and with your spine. One more big circle. Inhale, exhale, come back to tall seated as we straighten out our legs, going into staff pose, pointing your toes up towards the ceiling, sitting as tall as you can. You're in staff pose. You can stay here or join me for a little bit more, floating the arms up towards the ceiling, letting the biceps just come right next to your ears, reaching for the ceiling and hinging 2 or 3 inches forward, and breathe. You can stay here, or if you wish to forward fold, if your body allows you to do so. We're about to go into a forward fold, but do know that a forward fold is contraindicated for anyone over 60. So if you're over 60, only forward fold if it's something you're used to doing and it feels good for your body. You can always bend your knees, reaching for your toes, nose to your knees, and breathe 3 breaths here. Inhale and exhale, slowly round the spine up, back to tall spine, stacking the vertebra, 1 vertebra at a time. Let's go and pull that left knee in as we go into some spinal rotation. If you wish to cross your foot over your left leg or your right leg, do so. Going to take your right arm around that lifted knee as we slowly rotate around to our left, lifting your heart, lifting your gaze, and breathing. Inhale. And on the exhale, come on back to the center. We're going to go into a half-seated cow, taking that left heel towards the right hip, trying to stack the knees only as much as it feels good for your body. So this may be all that you want to do today, but if you want more, you can go into a full cow face, taking that right heel back towards the left hip, so both knees are stacked. Sit as tall as you can. Inhale to float the hands up. This time, we're just going to drop our prayer hands behind our head. Support your head with your inner elbows and slowly begin to gaze up and breathe 3 breaths here. On the next breath, slowly come back to the center. Reach your hands up, all the way up and back behind your hips as you lean back and straighten your legs, but keep them crossed for a crossed leg stack pose with a twist. Float the arms out in front of the shoulders, reaching the arms long. Cross the arms, flip the hands, drop the hands. Now you can stay here, or you can bring your hands towards your ankles, slowly nod your chin to your chest, and slowly slide your hands towards your feet. Maybe you stop at your calves, maybe you grab your arches, and for more, pull your elbows away from each other as your nose gets a little closer to your top knee. On the next breath, slowly come back up to tall seated, stacking your spine 1 vertebra at a time. Uncross your legs as you pull that right knee in. It's optional to cross it over. Sit as tall as you can as you take your left elbow or arm around that lifted right knee and slowly begin to rotate around to the right, dropping your hand behind your hips, lifting your heart, lifting your gaze, and breathing deep. Inhale, on the exhale, come back to the center. And if half cow face isn't for you, you can just go into a hamstring stretch by dropping your knee, or you can join me for the half cow face, taking that right heel towards that left hip. And if you want more, you can take your other heel back as well, stacking both knees, sitting as tall as you can, floating your hands up into an upward salute. Just squeeze your elbows against your temples, and then drop your prayer hands behind your head to support your head. And if you still want more, begin to gaze upwards. And breathe. Inhale, on the exhale, go on and bring your head back to the center. Reach your hands up. Float your hands behind your hips so you can lean back to straighten your legs, but keep them crossed for our crossed leg staff pose on this side. Float the arms out in front of the shoulders. Reach with the arms long. Twist your arms. Flip your hands. Drop your hands. Tuck your chin. Look at your belly and begin to slowly slide your hands toward your feet, only as far as it feels good for your body. If you can get to the arches of your feet, grab hold. And be sure to tuck your chin, eyes are on your knees. Pull the elbows away from each other to help you get your nose a little closer to your top knee. Inhale, and on the exhale, slowly round that spine back up to tall spine, lifting the chin last. As we go into a seated butterfly, we'll take the soles of our feet together. Your feet can be away if you have back issues. Or maybe you choose to get a little bit more out of this stretch. Wiggle your body a little closer to your heels. Use your hands to grow a little bit taller. And then slowly hinge forward as you let your elbows go to your inner knees. Gently press the knees. And then tuck your chin and let your nose fall towards your feet. You should feel the lower back open up here. So move slowly, relax your shoulders, and breathe. On the next breath, slowly roll up to tall spine. Let's bring our knees together. We're going to transition onto our hands and knees to go into crouch pose. So just tuck your toes under and then roll your buttocks onto your heels, and you are in crouch pose. Let's go on and nod our chin, relax, let your head just fall down towards your knees, and breathe. Keep your eyes on your belly as you lift your sits bones, straighten your legs, drop your heels, and moving into a standing forward fold. You can do a little bit more here. Bend your left knee, left, right. Go ahead and keep that left knee bent as your nose floats towards your bent left knee. Straighten out that right leg as much as you can, pushing your right hip up and back. And then knee bends again. Right knee bends, left knee bends, right, left. Let's keep the right knee bent this time, letting your nose float towards your bent right knee as you push your left hip up and back, straightening out that left leg as much as it feels good for your body. And knee bends again, left knee bends, right, left, right. Both knees bend. As we float our arms up, we're moving into yoga chair pose. So pretend you're sitting in a chair behind you. Gaze down. Be sure you see your toenails. If not, maybe you need to come up to the bar stool. Reach the arms up. Lift your heart. Lift your gaze. And breathe 3 breaths in chair pose. inhale and exhale, stand all the way up, float your arms all the way around and back over heart center. Let's go into some sun salutations and then right into some vinyasas. So in mountain pose, we can either hold our hands at our sides with our palms forward, or maybe you bring your hands over your heart to Tadasana. Let's close our eyes and just breathe here. Feeling the connection of the soles of your feet to your mat, to the earth. Pressing all four corners of the soles of your feet to your mat. So we take away one of our senses, our eyesight, so that our brain can remember the connection of the soles of our feet to the earth. Breathe 3 breaths here. Inhale, and on the exhale, open your eyes. Reach your prayer hands up as high as you can into upward salute. You can stay here, or maybe you thrust your hips forward a little as you gaze up, a little bitty slight arch to the back. Inhale, and on the exhale, you're going to forward fold once again. Fingertips in front of the toes, eyes on the knees. We're going to go into a sun salutation. We're going to go slowly for the first one. So next, from forward fold, we're going to go into half fold. So you're going to bend your knees a little as you drop the palms of your hands flat, and then maybe gaze forward. And then step back into plank, left leg and right leg. Be sure your wrists are under your shoulders. Pull your belly into your spine. Drop into chaturanga if you wish, or stay in your plank and breathe. Inhale. On the exhale, we'll drop our hips, uncurl our toes, go into cobra. Inhale. And exhale. Next, we'll move into downward dog. Now, if you have glaucoma or high blood pressure, maybe you move into child's pose, which is this, bringing your buttocks to your hips, or you can join me in downward dog. Inhale and exhale. Now, you can either step forward or hop forward into your half fold, gazing forward. And then tuck your chin, straighten your legs, and lift up to fingertips, standing forward fold. And then reverse swan all the way up to standing. Inhale. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale. Exhale into upward salute. Inhale, exhale, swan dive down into forward fold. Inhale. Exhale into half fold. Inhale into plank. Exhale into chaturanga. Inhale into up dog. Exhale into downward dog. Either step forward or hop forward into standing forward fold, half fold, gaze forward, forward fold, gaze to your knees, soften your knees. Inhale to come all the way back up. Exhale, hands over, heart center. Now we're going to add to our sun salutations, moving into vinyasas. Inhale to swan dive down into forward fold. Bend the knees, tuck the chin, go in and gaze forward, half fold. Go in and step back with your left foot as far back as you can into a deep runner's lunge. This should feel good. Your knee should be stacked over your ankle here. You can always drop your knee if you wish, if that feels better. Otherwise, we're just going to hold our runner's lunge here for 3 breaths. And then from here, we're going to move right into crescent lunge, floating the hands all the way up. You can have your knee down if that's easier for you. Crescent lunge, breathe. So the longer your back leg is, the easier it is to stabilize here. Then we're going to go on and turn our back foot out as we go into our warrior series. Go on and float your left hand to the back, right arm forward, gazing down your right fingers and breathe. We'll move into a peaceful warrior next. Drop your back hand to your back leg, flip your front palm up. Begin to float the fingers up towards the ceiling or the sky. Maybe you're outside. I love doing yoga outside, so eventually Maybe we'll find a place where we have good reception and we can do our yoga outside. Inhale, and on the exhale, going into warrior two, right into side angle, dropping your front elbow to your front thigh, reaching your back hand up high, gazing down to your big toe. Maybe you want an extended side angle, you can extend your hand down to your inner ankle. And then if you still want more, maybe you gaze up. Slowly come back up into your warrior two to reset. As we move into triangle, straightening out your front knee, hinging your upper body forward and dropping your hand either to your thigh or shin. Bringing your back hand up again, once again, gazing down to your big toe. Maybe you want more, gaze up, inhale, exhale. And then come back into warrior two. And then into warrior one, taking your back hand forward, reaching up and breathing. And then this next move, while it's small, it can be very challenging, so be careful. Lift your back heel and turn your back foot so you're back in that crescent lunge. Excellent. Inhale, and on the exhale, go on and straddle your front foot, and as you lift your hip, go back into downward dog. Or maybe it's child's pose for you today. Let's do some pedaling here before we continue. Dropping your left heel, right, left, right. Maybe dropping both heels down as your sits bones reach up. And then you can either step forward or hop forward. Reverse one all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, hands over, heart center, Tadasana. Upward salute, reaching up. Maybe a little arch in the back. Swan dive down into forward fold. Bend your knees, drop your hands, gaze forward, half fold. Step back into plank. And then chaturanga, cobra, or up dog. This is cobra. Up dog, you just lift your hips. Next, we're not going to go right into our downward dog. We're going to go into child's pose. So child's pose, where you can stay, or you can join me for downward dog. Lifting the knees, lifting the sits bones. And this time, we're going to lift up our right leg, bring it forward into a deep runner's lunge. You can straddle your front foot. Actually, I put the wrong foot forward, so let's switch. Take the other foot. You want your left foot forward. Straddle so your knee and ankle are all aligned. You can drop your back knee if that makes it easier for you, or you can keep it lifted. As we move into our warrior series, floating your hands up into crescent lunge, reaching up high and breathing. And then go on and turn your back foot out to warrior one. Warrior two, dropping your left arm forward and your right arm to the back. Peaceful warrior, drop your back hand to your back leg. Flip your front palm up. Begin to reach up for peaceful warrior. Maybe you take it a little bit deeper. Take it back a little bit. And come back to warrior two to reset. And side angle, go on and drop that front elbow to that front thigh. Float your back hand up. Maybe you stay here, gazing down at your big toe, or extended side angle, go on and extend your hand down. Maybe you gaze up. And then back into warrior two. Excellent. As we prepare for triangle, we are going to straighten out that left knee, hinge your body forward. Drop your left hand to your shin or your thigh. Float your back hand up, gaze down to your big toe, or maybe you want more challenge, you can gaze up to your top hand. And then come on back into warrior two to reset. And then back into warrior one, bringing that right hand forward, reaching both hands up. And then carefully lifting your back heel and turning your back foot into crescent lunge. And then hinging back over, stepping back that left foot into downward dog, back into pedaling, dropping the left heel, right, left, right, dropping both heels and sits bones up. And then let's drop to our hands and knees. uncurl your toes, and then spread your knees. We're going to go into traditional child's pose, bringing your buttocks to your heels, bringing your hands back by your ankles, dropping your forehead to your mat, or if you have a block, that's fine too. Breathe 5 breaths here and child's pose. Go on and slide your hands back out in front. Come back to your hands and knees. Separate your feet, your knees, and your hands about shoulder width apart. As we go into some dancing lines, you're going to float that left hand out in front of your left shoulder. Float it up if you can. Flip your pinky up. Take your pinky up to the ceiling with your gaze. And as you drop this left pinky to your left ankle, you're going to add a big hip circle. So arm circle with hip circle makes a dancing line. The slower you move, the more joint tension you will release. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. On this next arm circle, we'll keep our pinky up, reaching and opening up through the left side of our body as we prepare to thread the needle. Drop the hand under the chest, through the arm, dropping the left ear and shoulder to your mat. If you want more, pick up your right hand, put it behind the small of your back. And breathe 3 breaths here. On the next breath, slowly come back to your hands and knees, floating your right hand out as far as you can reach, floating your right arm up, flipping the right pinky up as we go into dancing lines on this side. Going to float that pinky up along with your gaze. And then as you bring your pinky back towards your ankle, add a big hip circle. Work with your body here and with your breath. Inhale. This should feel good. This is a feel-good movement. Inhale. And exhale. One more big circle, ending up with your pinky up towards the ceiling, opening up through the right side of your body, preparing to thread the needle, dropping the hand down under the chest through the arm, dropping the right ear and shoulder down to the mat, and maybe lifting your left hand up to the small of your back. Inhale, and on the exhale, come back to hands and knees. And next, we're going to come up to kneeling. So come all the way up to kneeling, as long as that's comfortable for you. And we're going to take our left foot out, straighten your left leg. Let your arms come out long for balance as we go into gate pose. So first, we're going to tip over to our left, lifting our right hand up and over, and breathe. Coming back to the center. And then dropping to your right. Maybe you stay here in a modified side plank, or you can join me for a little more challenge into a full side plank. Just taking that left leg behind the right. Make sure that your head's not hanging and your neck's in alignment with your spine. Inhale. And on the exhale, come back to your modified plank if you're not already there. And back up to tall. And then slide that left foot in. Take your right foot out, straighten out your right leg. My favorite stretch here. Going to tip over to your right. Left hand comes up and over. What a great stretch. Come back into arms into a T. Long arms are always better. Tip over to your left. Maybe you stay here. This is a modified side plank. If you want more, you can drop your hand and then straighten out your right leg behind your left. Lift your head so your neck stays in alignment with your spine, and breathe. Coming back into that modified side plank, and then back to the center. Slide that foot in, drop your hands, bring your hands behind your hips, squeeze your elbows towards each other, kneeling camel. You can stay here. Now, as I push my hips forward, I'm going to gaze down towards my belly. It's contraindicated to roll your head back if you're over 60, but if it's something that your body allows you to do, go for it. Inhale, and on the exhale, slowly come back forward. Floating your arms out in front of you, we're going to lean back about 2 inches and then come forward. And then maybe you drop your left fingertips to your left heels and come forward. And then right and forward, and maybe both. Maybe not. Maybe you stay there. And then if you wish for more, you can roll your head back. And slowly come all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, hands over, heart center. As we transition back onto our buttocks with our feet out in front for boat pose. And then my favorite, Savasana, total relaxation. So take your hands behind your knees, sit as tall as you can, and then roll past your tailbone, rounding your spine, pulling your belly into your spine. That's right, look at your belly, pull it in. And then from here, we can just lift our chin, maybe lift your heart, lift your legs into tabletop, maybe lift your arms, maybe you want more, maybe you straighten your legs. It's your boat pose. Oh, we forgot to do tree pose. We're going to do that real quick. Inhale, exhale, slowly come back up, and then come to your hands and knees. Tuck your toes under, standing forward. Roll all the way up. Let's do our tree pose. We must do our tree pose every class to see how we're progressing. Hands over heart center. Lift up your left heel. Maybe you stay there. Maybe you slide your foot up a little. Maybe you have to hold on. That's okay. So this is where we can really focus on our mind, body, and spirit. Breathe. Holding for 3 more breaths, meditating on whatever it is that you need to meditate on to become stronger mentally, physically, spiritually, so that you too can fill your canvas. Inhale, on the exhale, release. Relax your hands by your side, shoulder rolls back, 3, and 2, and 1. On the next side, I like to change my arm position. Remember, it's your tree, so maybe you're just a tree with lots of leaves. Maybe you're just a tall, skinny tree. Whatever tree you wish to be, it's your tree. Now we're lifting up our right heel. Maybe you keep your big toe on the floor. Try not to press into your standing leg. Maybe you open up and breathe and meditate. What is your passion? Open up your mind, body, and spirit to know how to fill your canvas. Inhale, on the exhale, relax the hands. Inhale up, swan dive down, come all the way back down to your mat, onto your buttocks, with your feet out in front. Go on and grab behind your knees, roll past your tailbone. This time, lift your feet up and slowly roll 1 vertebra at a time down onto your mat, pulling your knees into your chest. Closing your eyes here. I'm going to sit up so that you can hear me, but you should be laying on your back with your eyes closed. Taking this time to just be still, to be in the moment. So in total Savasana, is a time to renew, to restore your mind, your body, and your spirit by totally relaxing. The more you can relax, the more energy that will flow through your body, the more restoration your body will feel, as well as your mind and your spirit. This is the most important part of our practice today. Total relaxation, savasana. So your legs can be straight, whatever position is comfortable for you. Maybe you're bear hugging your knees. You can bring your legs up the wall. This is your time, your space. Let us be as quiet and still as we can. This is how we close our practice. Relaxing your toes and the balls of your feet, the arches of your feet and your heels, your ankles, your calves, behind your knees, your thighs, your buttocks. Relax your back, your lower back, your middle back, your upper back. With your shoulder blades just melting into your mat. Relax your shoulders and your arms, the insides of your elbows and your wrists, the palms of your hands. Slide your arms out to a T with your palms up. And as you can relax your thumbs a little bit, you should feel your shoulders relax a little more. Relax your hip bones and your pelvis, your belly, your rib cage, your chest, your neck. Relax your scalp. And relax all the muscles in your face. We hold a lot of tension in our face. Just truly relax those muscles in your face. Relax in your forehead, in your eyebrows, in your eyelids, your cheekbones, and your nose, your chin. Relax your earlobes, your jaw, even your teeth, unclench them. Let your tongue fall away from your teeth. Relax your lips and just be in the moment. And breathe. Inhale deep in through your nose and exhale through your mouth as big and deep as you can. Deep, long inhale in through the nose, feeling the air go all the way into your belly. As your belly rises, pause. And then through your mouth, a long exhale. Let me hear your shh. Inhale deep in through the nose, followed by a long exhale through the mouth with a shh sound, purifying breath, renewing the old air for new air. And now let us return to normal breath, in through the nose and out through the nose. And in this relaxed state, let us open our hearts. May your hearts be filled with love today. Love of yourself, and love of others, love of the unlovable. May your hearts be filled with love today. And may your hearts be filled with grace and gratitude. Joy comes from a grateful heart. Let us be joyful. Let's be thankful for all our blessings. We have the freedom to paint our own canvas. May your hearts be filled with peace today. Let us pray for peace in our world. It all starts in our own heart, one person, one heart at a time. Share that peace that you have with others around you. And then with your eyes closed, if you're comfortable doing so, roll over onto your side. Come back into awareness slowly. As you make your way back up to a seated position, I like to end the practice with an opportunity for prayer request, as we can pray in the Spirit, even though we are not in the same physical place. Let us lift up our prayers. You can jot them in the comments, and people will be praying that prayer for you throughout the week. Or just open up out wherever you are, in your living room, wherever you may be. Let us close our eyes and pray for each other, lifting up prayer requests all over the country, all over the world, whoever is participating in this practice today. And if you're not here today and you're viewing this yoga practice during the week at some time, just jot it down. We will get your prayer request and pray for you. And let us open our eyes, sit nice and tall, take your arms out long with your palms up. Inhale to float your hands up, and exhale, hands over heart center. I hope you feel renewed and restored from your practice today. And I hope that your mind, body, and spirit has become more aware to you so that you can continue to grow in all the ways that you were meant to grow. Namaste. Have a beautiful week. Thank you for joining us today. Jill will be here shortly. There she is. I can't hear you, Jill.
Namaste. Thank you so much for leading us into a time of awareness and space of peace, right? So hopefully that's what you experienced here this morning, or at any time that you are gathering with us this week. We would love for you to invite your family and friends into the same space that you have found here this morning. So you can do that by starting a watch party at any time this week. Or just inviting them and telling them all about this crazy thing that happens on Friday mornings. But whatever you do this week, remember that it starts with today. You have a blank canvas before you. Doesn't matter what picture was painted yesterday. We have a fresh new start today. So hopefully you find time to explore your passions, to dig deep within yourself, and ask our Creator, what is it you would have me paint today? If it's dancing, go out and dance like nobody's watching. If it's writing, write and be creative as you can. Creating characters that are of some, crazy imagination, some part within you. Have fun today, because that's what it's all about. We have purpose. Amen, and have a wonderful, beautiful week. We love you.
Thank you.